Do you recognize this scene? It's early morning, the day is dawning outside, and you reach for your favorite cup, for that fragrant, hot tea that seems to promise to wake you up and give you energy for the whole day. I used to do that too, for many, many years. It was my morning ritual, almost sacred. But have you ever noticed that after this cup, your heart starts beating somehow? Not quite right? Maybe there's a slight tremor in your hands, unexplained anxiety, or that midday fatigue hits so suddenly, as if someone pulled the plug on your energy. For a long time, I blamed it on age, the weather, anything. Until I realized my morning tea, especially black or strong green tea on an empty stomach, was literally hitting my heart and blood vessels hard. You see, when we wake up, our body is already experiencing a bit of natural stress, releasing the hormone cortisol to help us get up. And by adding a powerful dose of caffeine from tea, yes, there's quite a bit in it, especially on an empty stomach. It's like revving a cold engine straight to full throttle. The heart starts pounding faster, blood pressure can spike, blood vessels constrict. It's a huge, unnecessary load. And if you add sugar, oh, that's like pouring gasoline on the fire, creating a real roller coaster for our blood sugar and mood. But don't be alarmed. I'm not here to take away your last joy. On the contrary, I want to share how simple, completely accessible changes in morning habits brought back my peace, steady energy throughout the day, and the feeling that my heart works like a well-oiled clock, not like a frightened bird in a cage. I promise, it's easier than it sounds, and the results will surprise you. Let's figure out together how to give ourselves a vibrant and healthy morning without harming our precious heart. Stay with me until the end, and you'll learn the secrets that change my life for the better. 1. A gentle start instead of a sharp jolt. So, the first thing I did, and what I advise you to try, is to replace your first morning cup of tea with a glass of warm water, perhaps with a slice of lemon. I know what you're thinking now. Water? Just water? That's not the same at all. Where's the taste? The energy? Let me tell you the story of my good friend Arthur. He's 68. Arthur was a staunch tea drinker, having strong black tea with milk every morning, practically right out of bed. He complained of constant morning anxiety, palpitations, and a sort of inner tremor. When I suggested he start his day with a glass of warm water, he looked at me like I was crazy. "John," he said, "I've been drinking tea since I was 20. It's the only thing that wakes me up. Water it's emptiness." He felt like he was depriving himself of something important, familiar, almost ritualistic. He was afraid that without tea, he would feel even more drained and sleepy. But his heart problems were bothering him more and more, so he decided to try it, albeit reluctantly. What happened? The first couple of days felt unusual, yes. But by the end of the week, Arthur noticed amazing things. Firstly, warm water on an empty stomach is like a gentle shower for your stomach and intestines. It softly kickstarts digestion, prepares the body for breakfast, and helps flush out toxins accumulated overnight. It's not a sharp caffeine hit, but a smooth, natural awakening. Secondly, that morning nervousness and palpitations disappeared. His heart began to beat more evenly, calmly. Lemon, if there are no contraindications of course, adds a bit of vitamin C and helps gently alkalize the body, which is also beneficial. Arthur was surprised to find that his energy wasn't explosive and short-lived like from tea, but rather more even, stable, and lasted longer. He compared it like this. Before, the morning started with an explosion and then quickly faded. Now, it's like the sun rising slowly, illuminating everything around gradually and for a long time. Psychologically, he also felt relief. The feeling of dependence on the morning dose was gone. Try it. This is the simplest step that can bring huge relief to your heart and nervous system. Just warm water, like a gentle hug for your waking body. 2. Let your body wake up on its own. The second important point, closely related to the first, if you're still not ready to completely give up morning tea, at least delay drinking it for 60-90 minutes after waking up. Don't drink it as soon as you open your eyes. Oh, how difficult this was for Eleonora, a 72-year-old lady, my neighbor. She used to say, "John, if I don't have a cup of tea in the first 15 minutes, I'm simply not human. My head's foggy. I don't even have the strength to get up." She sincerely believed that tea was her only source of morning energy. Yet, by lunchtime, she often felt completely drained, irritable, and needed tea or coffee again to make it through the evening. The thought of waiting a whole hour or an hour and a half for her beloved drink caused her almost panic. "I'll just fall back asleep," she exclaimed. But here's the secret I explained to her. In the morning, as I mentioned, our body naturally produces cortisol, the alertness hormone. Its peak occurs approximately 60 to 90 minutes after waking up. If you pour caffeine into yourself at this very moment, you are not helping yourself, but rather interfering with the natural process. You are adding a stimulant on top of an already existing peak, creating unnecessary strain on the adrenal glands and heart. It's like trying to start an already running engine, just extra noise and wear. And then, when the effects of caffeine and natural cortisol sharply decline, that deep slump in energy and mood occurs. When Eleonora, with great difficulty and doubt, finally decided to try waiting, she was amazed. It turned out that if she first drank water, did some light exercises, or simply walked around the house, by the time an hour or an hour and a half had passed, she felt quite alert, even without tea. And when she did drink her cup later, the effect was milder, more pleasant, and most importantly, there wasn't that dreadful energy crash in the middle of the day. Her body learned to use its own resources for waking up. Try giving your body a chance to wake up on its own, without whipping it with caffeine from the first minutes. You'll be surprised how much smoother and calmer your day becomes. 3. Discover the world of herbal infusions. The third tip, replace your morning black or green tea with caffeine-free herbal infusions. I know, for many, this sounds like switching from a juicy steak to boiled carrots. My friend George, 65, was exactly like that. He loved the astringent taste of black tea, the ritual of brewing it. But he suffered from heartburn and increased anxiety, especially in the mornings. When I suggested he try chamomile or mint, he snorted, "That's just herbal water. No taste, no strength." He thought they were drinks for sick people or those who didn't respect themselves. He associated herbal tea with something bland, uninteresting, lacking character. He was sure he would miss his usual invigorating taste. But I persuaded him to experiment. After all, the world of herbal teas is vast and diverse. We started with ginger tea with lemon. It gives a pleasant kick and alertness, but without the caffeine jitters. Ginger also warms nicely and aids digestion. Then he tried peppermint tea. It refreshes and soothes the stomach, relieves spasms. Chamomile tea became his evening ritual, but sometimes he drank it in the morning on weekends when he wanted extra calm. There's also linden, rosehip, a treasure trove of vitamin C, thyme, rooibos, with a pleasant Swedish taste. It turned out that each herbal infusion has its own character, its own aroma, its own benefits. George was surprised to discover that his heartburn practically disappeared and his morning anxiety significantly decreased. He no longer felt that unpleasant wound-up state after a cup of tea. He told me recently, "You know, John, it's like I swapped a noisy, dusty factory for a quiet, cozy garden. Yes, there's no deafening roar here, but there's peace, harmony, and a variety of aromas I never noticed before." Herbal teas don't hit the heart with caffeine. They gently warm, soothe, or tone, depending on the herb choice. It's a wonderful alternative that cares for your well-being. Try to find your favorite herbal flavor. 4. Foundation. First, then decorations. The fourth principle that radically changed how I feel: always eat breakfast before drinking tea, if you've decided to keep it in your morning menu, albeit later. Never drink tea, especially strong or sugary tea, on a completely empty stomach. I remember Margaret, 70 years old. She always did this. Woke up, put the kettle on, drank a cup of strong, sweet tea, and only then slowly started preparing breakfast, or sometimes just made do with that tea until lunch. She often complained about feeling shaky mid-morning, about sudden weakness, dizziness, and difficulty concentrating. She blamed it on blood pressure or age, but didn't connect it to her habit. She thought that a cup of tea was a kind of breakfast, a quick and easy way to get energy. But this is a big mistake. Tea, especially with sugar, on an empty stomach is a sharp blow to your pancreas and blood sugar levels. First, sugar spikes rapidly, giving a false sense of energy, and then plummets just as quickly, causing that very weakness, tremor, and brain fog. Caffeine on an empty stomach further exacerbates this effect and irritates the stomach lining. However, a proper breakfast, porridge, eggs, cottage cheese, whole grain bread, gives the body real, slow-release energy, protein, fats, fiber. It's like building a solid foundation for a house. Breakfast stabilizes blood sugar levels, keeps you full longer, provides strength and mental clarity. When Margaret, following my advice, started eating breakfast first, and only then, about 30 to 40 minutes later, allowed herself a cup of tea, less strong and without sugar, she felt a huge difference. Those unpleasant energy slumps disappeared. She felt much more stable, satiated, and calm throughout the first half of the day. She said, "I realized that tea is a pleasant addition, a kind of decoration, not the foundation itself. First, you need to build the house, and then hang the curtains. Remember, food is fuel, tea is not. Always give your body real fuel before adding a stimulant. Your heart and entire body will thank you." 5. Farewell to the sweet illusion. The fifth step, closely linked to the previous one and hugely important for heart and vascular health, gradually reduce and ideally completely eliminate sugar and other sweeteners from your tea. Oh, this can be a real challenge for those used to a sweet taste. My old friend David, 75, always put 2, sometimes even 3, spoonfuls of sugar in his huge morning mug of tea. "Without sugar, it's just bitter water," he'd say. Meanwhile, he battled excess weight, had blood sugar spikes, and his doctor constantly reminded him about the risks to his heart. But the thought of unsweetened tea seemed like sacrilege, depriving himself of a small morning joy. He tried drinking it without sugar a couple of times, but grimaced and went back to his habit. But it's important to understand, sugar isn't just sweetness. It's fast carbohydrates that cause a sharp insulin spike, promote inflammatory processes in the body, including in blood vessels, lead to weight gain, increase the risk of type 2 diabetes and cardiovascular diseases. It's like taking out a high-interest loan. Pleasant at first, but later you pay with your health. Artificial sweeteners aren't the best solution either. Their effects on the body are not fully understood, and they can trick our brain, maintaining the craving for sweets. What did I advise David? Don't go cold turkey. Start small. Put 1.5 spoonfuls of sugar instead of 2. After a week, 1 spoon. After another week or 2, half a spoon. His taste buds gradually adapted. It felt unusual at first, but then he began to taste the tea itself, astringent, aromatic, complex, which was previously masked by sweetness. After a couple of months, he was drinking tea completely without sugar and was surprised to find that sweet tea now seemed cloying. And most importantly, he noticed he had more energy in the afternoon. The post-meal drowsiness disappeared, he lost some weight, and his sugar levels at the next doctor's appointment were better. He said, "It's like I broke free from sweet captivity. Turns out, the real taste is much more interesting." Try gradually reducing the amount of sugar too. Give yourself time to adjust. You'll discover new nuances of flavor and give a huge gift to your heart and blood vessels. 6. Tea as meditation, not as doping. And the final 6th tip, which concerns not so much what to drink, but how to drink it. If you decide to keep tea in your life, perhaps herbal or weak black-green tea, drunk after breakfast and without sugar, turn drinking it into a mindful, calm ritual rather than drinking it on the run or during stress. Remember Susan, 67, an energetic woman who always did everything quickly. Her tea time often looked like this. She'd brew a tea bag while standing by the stove, quickly drink the hot beverage while simultaneously thinking about her to-do list or worrying about something, and then rush off. She considered it a break, but in reality, her body and mind remained tense. She wondered why, even after a cup of supposedly calming tea, she sometimes drank chamomile, she didn't feel rested or relaxed. The thing is, if you drink tea, or any drink or food, in a state of stress, hurry, or anxiety, your body is in fight or flight mode. Digestion slows down, the heart beats faster, muscles are tense. In such a state, even the healthiest drink won't be properly absorbed and won't bring calm. I suggested Susan try a simple thing. When she decides to have tea, set aside 5 to 10 minutes of real time for it. Not standing, not on the go. Sit comfortably, perhaps by a window or in her favorite chair. Look at the color of the drink. Inhale its aroma. Take a few slow, deep breaths before the first sip. Drink in small sips, feeling the warmth and taste. Don't think about problems or tasks during this time. Just be in the moment with her cup. At first, this seemed like a waste of time to Susan. But when she tried it, she was amazed by the effect. These 5 to 10 minutes of mindful tea drinking became a real island of calm in her day. She truly felt the tension release, thoughts slow down, and peace arrive. She compared it like this. Before, my tea was like a pit stop in a race. Quickly refuel and rush on. Now, it's like stopping at a scenic viewpoint. You can catch your breath, enjoy the moment, and then continue calmly and refreshed. Turn your tea break, if you have one, into a true act of self-care. Sit down, relax, enjoy. It's not only pleasant, but also very beneficial for your nervous system and consequently for your heart. So, these seemingly small changes in your morning routine can bring tremendous benefits to your well-being, my dear friends. Replacing the first cup of tea with warm water, delaying caffeine intake, trying herbal infusions, always eating breakfast before tea, removing sugar, and drinking mindfully. See? Nothing supernatural. But each of these steps helps remove unnecessary load from your heart and blood vessels, even out your energy levels, improve digestion, and simply help you feel calmer and more energetic. I know that changing habits formed over years can be difficult. We value stability, familiar rituals, but your life experience and wisdom tell you self-care isn't selfishness, it's a necessity. You deserve to feel good at any age. You have every right to energy, health, and a calm heart. You don't need to implement everything at once. Try one thing, whatever seems most accessible and interesting to you. Listen to your body. It will surely respond to your care. Remember, small steps lead to big changes. Take care of yourselves, cherish each day, and know that your health and well-being are largely in your caring hands. Age is not a time to give up. It's a time to enjoy life mindfully and with self-love. You can do it.